Amazing fight, a great striking war actually, and I think DC showed his dominance. And overall, we have some great talent in the UFC. Very proud of that. And at this point, let's just open it up for questions.
If you guys have a question, just raise your hand. Scott will point you out. You stand up and
Thank you.
I got a few questions for Daniel.
Yep.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, sir.
And then you laid out a few things after the fight. Just to be clear, all this is just things that you want. This is nothing that has been signed to. It's nothing.
No, nothing been signed. This is just what I said in my ideal universe. That's what would happen as this year goes on. But I mean, it's a good, it could not happen. But if it doesn't, I'll just keep on plugging away.
I know that you're just a fighter and you have to wait, see what the UFC wants to do as a promotion, but are you hopeful? I mean, that makes sense and that you don't see any roadblocks to face in Cormier in April?
I mean, I don't know why. I mean, most of the other guys are tied up, Everybody's pretty much scheduled in the division. So why not? We were supposed to fight already. It's a good fight. I think people would watch the fight. We could sell the fight, Frank and I, so we gotta make some money.
What if you had to venture a guess? What do you think you'd weigh against Frank Mir in a heavyweight fight? You seem to be trending down constantly.
I don't know.
No idea.
Not gonna tell you. I just wait to the weigh-ins, just like every time, right?
Is 205 something? Obviously, it is on your mind because you brought up John Jones. Is that in your mind to kind of continue to lose weight though, or is 230 where you might want to stay at heavyweight? That's about as light as you want to go facing bigger guys.
No, I mean I'd fight big guys at 225, 227. I feel like I'm getting faster as I go down, and my speed's a little better. If you notice, when I started to go around Dion on the ground, I was a lot faster than him, so I was able to get my punches off better. On the feet, I was a lot faster than him, so I don't think it's that big a deal because I can wrestle, and I can wrestle at the level that I wrestled. So I once wrestled in the Dave Schultz Memorial Tournament. I wrestled I weighed about 230, and I beat the number 1, 2, and 3 guys in the United States. So I mean, if I have to fight bigger guys, it won't really affect me that much, I don't think.
And I'm sorry to ask you a bunch of theoretical questions, but if for whatever reason the fight didn't happen, would you be able to maybe consider going to 205 right away, or is your next fight 100% got to be a heavyweight?
No. The reason I said that I would fight him in the fall is because I would need some time to actually get that weight down. I mean, I'm comfortable at 230 right now, but that's still 25 more pounds. So I would need some time to make weight, and I don't want to fight at 205 because I don't want to fight Dan Henderson. No way. No way. He's hanging around here somewhere. I don't want to fight Dan Henderson. For the record, Ryan Grab, you know why. Kind of got a man crush on Dan Henderson.
And I got one more question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Coming into this fight, it seemed like you yourself and then a lot of the media were kind of painting it as a no-win situation. Whatever you did wouldn't be good enough. And now that the fight's over and you know what happened, can you take anything from this, or was this just get through this business and then move on to what's next?
Well, what I take from this fight is that when everybody was looking past him, I was able to keep my focus on taking care of tonight, and not looking at the bigger picture. A lot of times I was, Twitter, people have such direct access to you that you can get their opinions straight on, and I got a lot of, you're looking past this guy into the UFC and everything, when in reality I wasn't. I was just answering a lot of the questions that were asked of me. And I take that even in a situation where most people around me may not think there's much to gain, I can maintain complete focus on that task and get through it and get through it healthy and put on a pretty good performance.
Thank you.
No?
Scott, obviously now that this is all over, can you kind of take us through some of the things that were going through your head as you're sitting there cage side watching this all progress, kind of watching the end of your baby, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, to me it's something that, it's a bittersweet moment, but, I already accepted it in my mind that there's going to be time, and this was the last fight, and that was going to be it, and that's the reality. So Strikeforce has had a great run, and I'm glad we're here with these fighters today to finish it off in a good run, in a good light. And Daniel was a guy. Where's Bob? Is Bob Cook here? So Bob Cook, he's responsible for Daniel bringing him to me. We met in San Jose at at a little restaurant, and we were talking, and I'm like, God, you know, is he more than just a wrestler, Bob? And then he started talking, and I said, God, this guy can really talk. He sure likes to talk a lot, so maybe there's some hope here, because, you know, in Strikeforce, we like to fight fighters that had personality, that had the X factor, and I think that Daniel, you know, stuck out of my mind. And then we hit a little road bump when he said, you know, how much he wanted, and I said, what? How much for the first fight? But, you know, we got over that hump, and we believed in Daniel from the beginning. And, you know, you guys, I don't know if you remember, but he was the third alternate on our tournament. The great tournament we threw in the beginning of, I think, 2000 and, was it 2011? 2010? Then, but Daniel wasn't even the first alternate. It was Chad Griggs and Shane Del Rosario. Were the first two alternates. And then I said, wait, let's get Daniel. And then, you know, he fought a couple of fights, and then when he fought Jeff Munson, I was like, wow, who is this kickboxer here? I mean, I didn't even recognize him. So I knew he's getting better. He's in a great gym. He's doing his thing. And you know what? He is going to do some serious damage at the UFC. I'm looking forward to seeing him fight as a fan. And I'll be rooting for you. And Jacare, he's another fighter we found from Japan, actually, fighting for Pride back in the day. I believe Sengoku was where he was fighting. But, you know, I had always heard of Jacare from Dream, sorry. That's where I was, Dream. It's been a long day. But, you know, I'd always heard of Jacare being the jiu-jitsu master, and I watched him in his fights, and he grappled with Randy Couture in just a match. And I kept hearing his name over and over and over, and so finally I saw him fight. And again, another great character. And Jacare, I know you're going to do great things over at the UFC. I have a lot of confidence in you guys. So thank you for fighting for Strikeforce. And Gegard, hey, Nate's here. So Gegard Musashi, another fighter that came from Dream and part of the Japanese fighting you know, system they had going over there. And I always liked Gegard. I always believed in Gegard. And again, I wish you a lot of luck in UFC, and go kick some ass over there. Nate and Tarek had a tough fight, and we'll see Tarek.
He's coming. He's on watch.
Okay. Had a tough fight, and you know what? I told the reporter yesterday. I said it's gonna, you know, Nate's gonna try to get Tarek on the ground. Otherwise, it's gonna be a stand-up fight, and then it's gonna be a really tough fight, and that's what it turned out to be. So, Nate, thank you for fighting our main event. And Ryan's a kid I met up in Washington, probably what, 5 years ago?
At least more than that.
Maybe 6 years ago, maybe. And I said, hey Ryan, do you want to fight in MMA? And he's like, I don't know, I'm gonna go train my dad for a while. He's living in Seattle. We met at a Starbucks up in Bellevue. And so just kept tabs, and when I knew he was going to train seriously, I sat down with his manager Sam, and we cut a deal. And congratulations on a big win.
Thank you.
And I wish you luck in the future fighting the UFC. So did I take too long?
No.
Okay, there you go.
We're used to this with you by now. Well, as you're sitting there watching,
Okay.
obviously, the first 4 fights,
Yeah.
is there part of you that's going, oh man, thank God this is a great, you know, fan-friendly stoppage in the last show on Showtime, not have, you know, several unfan-friendly fights, you know, on the last.
Well, you know,
last
it's the
one?
first time they actually had me like tweeting tonight, right? So I was going crazy trying to tweet and look at the fights and tweet and between fights. So it was interesting, but you know what? And then trying to keep score with the Niners and see what's going on with the San Francisco 49ers and going back and forth. But no, on a serious note, it was you know, like I said, it's an honor for these guys to fight and to have me watch these guys fight. And you know what? I'm proud of what we accomplished. We had a great staff. I'd like to thank Silicon Valley Sports Entertainment for believing in Strikeforce, Greg Jameson, Jim Goddard, Charlie Foss, Steve Kersner, and they made all this happen. Showtime, without Showtime, we really just would have stayed a regional promotion. So, you know, I'm really thankful to them, and they believed in us, and I think we did a lot of great stuff together.
Daniel, the thing I want to ask you is tonight, how was the game plan? How did that go? Because I saw a couple of times it looked like you were trying to go for submissions possibly, but it looked like you were very comfortable on the ground. Obviously, you're a wrestler, but what was the game plan and how did it turn out?
Well, I think it kind of went exactly like we thought. You know, I was going to stand with him a little bit, but I wanted to wrestle him to get him tired. You know, I've got a great jiu-jitsu coach now, Leandro Vera, and he works with me, and you know, we grapple. He's been there for almost a year, and we actually grappled against each other in Vegas, and I go, man, you're the real deal. I better start listening to you. And so but I won't give up position for submission yet. That's one thing he hasn't changed. So I just kind of rode him, and you know, when he got up, let him get up a little bit, and then take him back down. You know, to wear on him a little bit. Not many guys can actually stay with that wrestler's pace of up and down, up and down, up and down, and it worked to a T. You know, he was a tough guy though. He was real tough.
Was there any point in the fight where you thought about maybe changing the game plan at all, or that you felt like maybe the game plan wasn't working?
No, I mean, it seemed to be working pretty good. I mean, I was never in any danger. You know, for the first time in a year and a half, I don't have a broken hand after the fight's over, and it kind of all went according to plan. You know, it was a good fight. I had fun. I'm glad I fought. I'm glad I was lucky enough to be on this last card.
Thank you.